All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining us again. My name is Andrew Giannetti. I'm the channel account manager over here at Linxup. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about leveraging the GPS tracking system to help grow your business and grow your bottom line. As we go, there is a chat feature in here, so feel free to drop some questions in there, or you can also take yourself off mute. I don't mind being interrupted at all, so feel free to drop questions either way you would like. All right. So, really, what we're going to get into today, here's a quick agenda. First and foremost, we're going to go through what Linxup actually does, who we are, and what we do, and then specifically some challenges for the restoration industry, for your industry. Now, then we're going to get into leveraging the GPS system to actually grow the business. Now, once we've kind of taken in all that information, we're going to try to make it as brief as possible and as concise as possible. How to actually begin, how to take that information and begin to grow the business. So who we are. Linxup GPS has been around for almost 20 years now. Next year will be our 20th anniversary. We are what is called a telematics system. So what we do specifically is track vehicles, equipment, assets, what they do, where they're going, where they are, and then the historical data associated with that. What really sets us apart is the ease of use of the system. So as you can see on the right-hand side, the interface itself looks just like Google Maps. So it'll have a Google Maps interface where you can toggle between the screen that you see here or a satellite view, and then have our icons laid over it. So you can see this is an example of a route. You can see where it started and where it ended, and then in between there, the different things that happen. So harsh braking, rapid acceleration, speed warnings, you can see all of those things on your map. Um, Outside of that, the devices themselves are really easy to install. I always give the example of it's just like plugging in a lamp at your house, because it really is. You plug the devices into the OBD port. We do also have devices that would wire behind the dash if that is an installation that would be better suited for your business. Just gives you a little bit more peace of mind in some situations. Make sure that the guys aren't chucking them out the window at any given turn, and a little bit more security on the install. All right. So specific challenges for the restoration industry and things that we see in this vertical specifically. So number one is vehicles being out of commission, whether that's because they are stolen or because they are just down because of repair. One of the things that we talk about a lot, especially in today's climate, is the supply chain. Right? Everyone was affected in some way, probably over the last 3 years or so. But what does that mean for for what we're talking about today? So a lot of customers that we talk to say, I need to go get a new truck. I'm just going to go get one. Well, the fact of the matter is that I would hope that you can actually do that, but sometimes you can't, unfortunately, with the supply chain issues. We were talking to a customer just a few weeks ago, and they were slated to have 150 new trucks this year, but the manufacturer is only allocating about 50 of them because of those supply chain issues, because they can't deliver on them. So being able to track the vehicles as well as the equipment on a real-time basis can help you cut down on those types of things and make sure that, if they are stolen, you can find them immediately, or if they need repair, you can identify those repairs, or you can also plan for those repairs or the scheduled maintenance ahead of time. Number two would be stolen work hours. So falsely reporting hours or not showing up for service calls is a really easy way to kind of increase the profitability of the business really quickly. So making sure that they are showing up for jobs, they are going to emergency jobs as well. So having the visibility to say, okay, you're the closest vehicle. We would like you to go to this emergency job real fast before you continue on your route, and capturing even some extra revenue in the process as well. Number three would be scheduling and dispatching. So not only being able to make a plan up front, knowing where your stops are going to be throughout any given day, but also being able to be flexible. This goes into what I was saying before. So being able to capture some of that extra revenue while the day is going on. If you capture an extra $100 a day, extrapolate that over a year, it's 5,200. Well, $100 might not seem like a whole lot. So if you make it 500, that's way more than just an extra 5,000 a year. So it's an easy way to by having that visibility to be able to capture a little bit more revenue, and also, maintain those efficiencies. Once you know where your stops are on any given day, being able to build out from there. Number 4, the inaccuracies from the back office. Now, the back office jobs have a lot of, there's always a lot going on, right? They're always helping a lot of people, but being able to cut down on the time that it takes in some of those instances is a really easy way, again, to impact the profitability. So let's say that your guys are out and about, you don't have the GPS tracking system. You don't technically know where everyone is, right? And being able to find out is really a matter of, let's make a phone call, let's send a text. Well, what the answer that you get over the phone might not always be the most honest answer. And number 2, taking the time to actually make that phone call. I mean, that it does take a minute. You might not get them on the first call. They might be in the middle of a job. They might have to call you back. Being able to see that in real time can really help the profitability of the business and the efficiencies of the business as well. Beyond that, the inaccuracies and the inefficiencies, one thing that we talk about is the maintenance costing too. So being able to see, hey, this vehicle is due for an oil change, we need to do it now, also plays into the downtime of the equipment. But some of those data points that we can pull can really help with maintaining the fleet, maintaining the efficiencies of the fleet so that they don't become inefficiencies. And then last but not least, the cost of being a field service business. This can pertain to a lot of different things, but I'll just hone in on a couple of them. So obviously with the field service business, the vehicles are out and about. They're all over the place. They're going from job to job. And with that, they could be, idling is a really big a really big thing that we see and that we can look at as far as costing. So we equate 1 hour of idling time to a gallon of gas. And with the cost of gas right now, and the unknowns of the cost of gas, in the next week or the next month, those are things where we can help with the profitability. Unauthorized movement or unauthorized use. If the vehicles are being taken home at night or after jobs, you certainly want to know that they are where they're supposed to be, right? But then what we'll get into a little bit later here too is the excessive vehicle wear and tear. So if they're using them for, jobs that are not, just kind of side jobs, that's not only costing the business for, fuel costs, but also the wear and tear on the vehicle. And if they're using any technology or any chemicals or any products or anything like that, those things are just extrapolating that cost to you. So these are the biggest things that we see impacting the profitability and the growth of businesses in this specific vertical. Now, beyond the vehicles, we also track assets and equipment. So some of the things that can impact here would be the billing use for the equipment. So when we talk about this, we're really talking about job costing. So, it's really easy to say, okay, I need 5 guys on this site for 5 hours today. What's their hourly rate? Tack on a little bit more from there, but what equipment are they using, right? What does that equipment actually cost? How are we recouping the cost of that equipment through this process, right? And being able to, give accurate bids, give accurate estimates on different jobs can help with that profitability. Now, unnecessary yard checks, right? It's really easy to look out a window and say, oh yeah, I see something there. It's here, it's fine. But if a yard or a job is not, not where you are, how do you have that visibility? Do you send someone and take time out of their day to go see if that piece of equipment or if that vehicle is there? Do you make a bunch of phone calls and hope that someone picks up the phone? So unnecessary yard checks, that's what we mean by that. Increased maintenance costs. So one of the really cool features with our asset tracking devices is that we can tap into the usage of these assets. So, whether it's a lift or like a snowplow or something like that, we can tap into the use of those specific devices and tell you, hey, it's been used for 1,500 hours or whatever it is, it's time to do this scheduled maintenance. So lowering the maintenance costs is obviously what we're getting at here, what we would like to do. And then, as we mentioned before, the lost or stolen equipment, just like the vehicles, bobcats, skid steers, things like that, those pieces of equipment are suffering the same types of supply chain issues as the vehicles are. And at the same time, those pieces of equipment can be way, way more costly than the vehicles. So, all right, a few quick facts here. First and foremost, it's been found that 1 in 3 employees engage in side jobs. So just like I said before, where this comes into play is the fuel costs, the wear and tear on the vehicle, obviously the liability risks, and then extrapolating that even more if they're using any tools, equipment, chemicals on those side jobs. That's just costing your business money. And then the other stat that really stood out was the 38% of workplace fatalities in 2021 were due to transportation incidents. Now, we have heard from a lot of our customers and heard from a lot of insurance providers that they will provide some sort of discount for having a GPS tracking system. Now, we'll get into a little bit in a moment, but we do also offer the dash cameras too. So being able to know whose fault it was, if it was the driver's fault, if they were cut off, if they were texting and driving, being able to know that information up front is really, really important. It's really, really important to the insurers because that will cut down on their legal liability. They'll know right away. They'll know who's at fault. They don't have to pay lawyers. It's a lot less hairy, and that's it. So, all right. So what are some of the key GPS tracking benefits that we can offer? So some of these we've gone through a little bit already on the flip side, but on the positive side, what are some of the benefits? So reducing downtime of the vehicles, being able to, and the equipment as well, being able to quickly find and report stolen vehicles and equipment. Like I've said multiple times, knowing where everything is on a consistent basis is just a little piece of what we do, but it is a very important piece, especially in today's climate. Outside of that, the maintenance costing that we can help you with and the DCT codes that the vehicle tracking devices can provide can help you identify if it is a really serious issue immediately and that vehicle needs to be, brought to the shop, or if it's something that, okay, let's finish out today, let's do the oil change tomorrow morning first thing, and then we can continue on and that's it, right? So being able to have that visibility and reducing the downtime is a really, really big benefit of the GPS tracking system. Data-driven dispatching and scheduling. So helping save fuel, reducing the inefficiencies, and making the routes more efficient are just a few ways that we can help you in this aspect. Being able to have that visibility into where the vehicles are going on a consistent basis. Are they going to the same job sites every given day? Are they going to different job sites? Is it something that we need to look at on a weekly basis or a daily basis and help them plan out? Those efficiencies can take you from 5 jobs a day to 10 jobs a day, or 5 jobs a day to 7 jobs a day. And when you look at it in that aspect, we're talking 30%, 50% increase in revenue captured by just looking at these data points. And then outside of that too, how the customer perceives this. So the customer satisfaction by taking advantage of these things, word of mouth goes a long way. So if it's 5 today and that grows to 7 through the efficiencies, but you're also able to give your customers the window of 1 hour or a specific time of arrival versus half a day or a full day, those are things that customers, I know those are things that I look at too. So being able to use those data points to help in those 2 different ways are definitely key too. Now, understanding the employee behavior. The workplace fatalities data point that we mentioned before is obviously, from a business standpoint, it's something that you never want, right? But at the end of the day, these are still individuals, these are still human beings, and making sure that they're safe on the job is really, really important as well. And if their job is 60%, 80% driving, that's a big thing. That's a big data point that we need to capture. So utilizing the safety report cards and the dash cam footage that we provide that can help with the driver performance, making sure that they're coached on, maybe not jumping off the line, not slamming on the brakes. Those are things that can help with the safety of the driver and also the safety of the business at the same time. All right, and the accurate and the efficient reporting. More data might sound like, it's a little bit overwhelming, but in reality, more data and taking it a little bit at a time can really, really help grow the business, can really, really help, cut down on some of these inefficiencies. So at the same time, having accurate and efficient data and making it efficient to you and to your admins and to whoever is going to be looking at it is also important as well to help, grow a little bit quicker versus, okay, we just have a huge Excel sheet with, a bunch of numbers. What does this really mean? So, all right. So here's a few dollar data points that we can look at and look at some of the savings the GPS tracking system can give you. So if we're just talking fuel savings first up in the top left, look at fuel savings. Let's say we save 3 miles a day and we save 8 minutes idling per day. Average fuel cost is $3. So it's $29 per month just on one vehicle. Now we look at productivity gains that we can gain there too. So if we gain 10 minutes a day and your hourly rate is $100, it's $358 per month extra in savings just by cutting down on some of those inefficiencies and gaining in productivity. Now the overall return on investment, and this is just on one vehicle, we're not extrapolating this over multiple vehicles, just on one vehicle would be $364 in just 1 month. Now again, think about if we're taking this to 5 vehicles, 10 vehicles, this is just on 1 month and on one vehicle. So an example for you here. All right, so what do we do with this information, right? What do we do with the GPS tracking system? How do we even start by taking in all this information? Well, first and foremost, I think a really good way to start, or a really good place to start, would be just take a look at the business, right? Kind of perform a little bit of an audit of your business and understand where your inefficiencies are. The first step is always knowing, and then from there we can adjust and we can adapt. So see if the deliveries or the services that are being, the field services that we're providing out there, if there's any inefficiencies there, right? If there's any safety inefficiencies, the harsh braking, rapid acceleration, things like that. Look at your staff and your payroll. Are we able to say with 100% certainty that the jobs that individuals are doing are being costed correctly, and that is putting us in a good spot for payroll and other things that are associated with the business? Or do we need to up our prices? Do we need to lower our prices? Things like that. Now sales, that's kind of the same thing. And then the marketing and the reputation, making sure that we are responding to our customers in a very, very efficient way, in a very in a very efficient way, and making sure that they are taken care of from day one or from that first phone call, right? Making sure that we're giving them accurate information, or as accurate of information as we possibly can. Okay, so where is all the money going? Businesses spend a lot of money. They spend a lot of money on a lot of different things. But where is that money actually going? Identifying how much actual time or additional time or money is spent in association with these different things. So scheduling limitations. Are we not capturing enough jobs throughout the day? Could we be capturing more jobs throughout the day? Whether that is because we don't have the visibility to take on emergency jobs, or we don't have the ability to take on emergency jobs efficiently, I should say, or because we don't have the visibility of our routes. We don't know, we're just sending people all over the place, and these are the 10 jobs that need to get done today, and that's it. Could we be doing it in a more efficient way to capture more revenue? Safety related issues, the vehicle and the driver. Are we spending too much money, taking care of the vehicles, taking care of, the wear and tear on the vehicles while they're out there? When it's a really easy data point to look at with the drivers. Say, hey, just start braking 10 feet earlier. Don't run off the line every single time you're at a stoplight or a stop sign. Those are really easy ways to cut down. A lack of visibility, I've kind of gone into that a little bit. The extra fuel costs, idle time. Are we spending too much time on fuel? Are there one or two drivers where their fuel cost is 4, 5, 6 times the rest of the workforce? And then addressing customer complaints in real time. All right, so step 3. So step 3 is an ROI analysis, so return on investment analysis. And what this really means and what we can do here is we can estimate the financial benefits of adding the GPS system to your fleet or your management operations or upgrading your current solution. So we can take a look, and we can help you with this a little bit too. We do have an ROI analysis tool on job costing. We've built out this huge model. So if it's something that you're interested in doing, my contact information will be at the end of this presentation, and we can walk through this with you. So what we'd want to do first is identify all the vehicles and the assets that we would want to track or we would want to monitor, and then identify where the GPS best fits your needs and could help with some of these workflows. If it's something where you want to see all of the data points or you want all of the data points, we can definitely provide that. Or if it's just something where you want some of the data, we can do that too. So identifying where it would best help you and how we might be able to help your business. And then from there, part of the ROI analysis is actually evaluating that savings, being able to give you a dollar amount associated with the GPS tracking system. Obviously what it would cost, but at the same time, what it would save in the long run. So, okay, in the implementation, step number 4 of this would be the implementation. As I said before, it is really, really easy to use the system. So it's as easy as plugging in a lamp at your house, and that's about it. From there, you have all the data points on your phone and on a computer or a tablet. The app itself is free to download, and you can go in and download it and see all of your information, or you can use the web portal. Typically takes less than an hour to set up. Even with the dash cams, we did an internal competition not too long ago where someone in our office took about 35 seconds to install the dash cam. And with the dash cam, there is one cord, so it's a little bit different than just the plug and play device. But I'm not encouraging anyone to try to break that record, but just as an example, it is really, really easy to install. Beyond that, once you get everything set up, we do have a dedicated onboarding and training team. So they'll give you a call, make sure that everything is going well. We can help you set up different alerts and different reports that would be automatically sent to you via email or text message every day. Now, beyond that, our ongoing customer service is available to you. We do have US-based customer service, so everyone's based, for the most part, here in St. Louis, where our headquarters is. And then beyond that, ongoing training, if you would like to, customer service is always there to help you. And if it's something where you only want to take in a little bit of the information initially and build from there, we can help scale the solution at your pace. Okay, so step 5, last step here. Some of the ongoing benefits of monitoring the vehicles, the assets, the locations of them, and the data points that they provide. Improved real-time vehicle and asset visibility. I've said the word visibility a ton today. I understand it. I'm going to try not to beat it in the ground, but it is the main point here. Being able to have that bird's eye view of everything that's going on. It doesn't need to be a big brother approach where we're over everyone's shoulder, but we can use it to our benefit. We can use it to help grow and scale the business, and continue to be profitable or be more profitable than we already are. So Increased flexibility in scheduling for the field service operations. As I've said multiple times, being able to know where the vehicles are going on a daily basis or a weekly basis is really important. Now, beyond that, being able to capture extra jobs, whether it's throughout the day, throughout the week, emergency jobs, or just people that call in. We do, like I said before, it is web-based and it is app-based. So both of those platforms, once you have the system up and running, both of those platforms will be free to use for you. Another kind of ongoing benefit here is the ability to see the big picture and then drill down into all that information, right? So the location, safety, and the maintenance, like I mentioned on the last slide, there's a lot of information that it provides. And if there's just one thing that you want to look at today, that's totally fine. But from there, you do have the ability to, if you would like to, look at 4, 5, 6, 7 other data points where we can increase the profitability and increase the efficiency of the business. Okay, I'm going to stop, and I apologize. I should have stopped before. I'm going to take a look at the chat here. If anyone has any questions, feel free to take yourself off mute, and I'll answer them as we go as well. Okay, so I do see a question here from Michael about the safety report card and how it's actually calculated. So you're correct, harsh braking, rapid acceleration, speed warnings. Some of that too is, we can definitely take a look at how your platform is set up. If we're looking at that over a day's period or a week's period, that can definitely affect, that score. But we can definitely take a look if this is something that you would have some time to look at today. I'd be happy to look at that with you. I do see one other question here about the supply chain issues that I mentioned before in relation to our own supply chain issues. We have gone through everything that we possibly can, just like a lot of people. And at the moment, we are good. We don't have any inventory issues. We don't foresee any inventory issues. So if you would like to, order devices, then at that point you would just, place the order. Typically, everything goes out the same day, be shipped out from St. Louis, and standard shipping is 3 to 5 business days. We do have expedited options as well. So, any other questions that I can answer? Okay, wonderful. Well, Michael, I will send you a message and we'll dive into that a little bit to make sure that we're, seeing the right data points and everything from your system. But if anyone else has any other questions, this is here's my contact info. Again, my name is Andrew Giannetti. That's my cell phone number listed there and my email address. So feel free to call, text, email, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you all for attending today. We really appreciate it and have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.